Sam Pitroda, greetings from Chicago. As we celebrate 75th year of India's independence on 15th of August 2022, I want to wish all my countrymen a great August 15th. I also want to convey to all those who are interested in India same good wishes and my compliments. It is indeed a very special occasion to review and reflect on this August 15th, and I thought I would take this opportunity to share with you my personal observations, my personal journey, and my hope and aspirations for India. I was born in 1942 in British Raj. When India became independent, I was about 5 years old. My Gujarati parents were settled in Odisha in a small little tribal village called Titilagar. I'm telling you about my story because my story is the story of India and story of millions like me who today are lucky to be with me to celebrate 75th year of India's independence. In this small little town in Orissa, I still remember as a little kid, there were 5 great pictures in my house that we always used to look up to. Mahatma Gandhi, Sardar Patel, Pandit Nehru, Maulana Azad, and Subhash Chandra Bose. Right in front of our house was a Muslim family living there. Next to it was a Marwari. On the right hand side of Muslim was Sardar, and in the back of us was the Oriya tribal family. We all lived in peace and harmony like one big family. In India at that time focused on our strength in democracy, diversity, inclusion, and a lot of the Gandhian thoughts and ideals were in the air. I went to a boarding school in Gujarat where Gandhian thought got reinforced in my day-to-day life. Truth, trust, love became part of routine. And these were not just the words. These were basically a way of life. I must say that my father, like many other fathers at that time, would feel empowered because of the freedom they received from British Raj, and they could dream to send their children to higher education. And they could dream that their children could accomplish things that they never thought could be accomplished during British Raj. My father had 4th grade education. I was a son of a carpenter, OBC. I never felt I was OBC. Never took advantage of anything, but I was empowered as free Indian. I went to college, got a BSc in physics, master's in physics, and then came to America in 1964 to get a PhD in physics, studied electrical engineering, built businesses, but the India remained in my soul all the time. A non-resident Indian, many of us think more about India while we are outside India than sometimes people living in India. I know that independence movement had a lot to do with non-resident Indians. Almost everyone in the independence movement of any substance came from abroad, including Mahatma Gandhi. So this little desire to reconnect with India brought me back in early 80s to work with Rajiv Gandhi. I had made a presentation to Indira Gandhi that Telecom and IT would change the face of India in 1980-81. Rajiv Gandhi, when he became Prime Minister, really gave meaning to my life and provided the political will to do the things that I needed to do. With the help of lots of young talent, young Indian talent, with the idea of connecting rural India, indigenous development, local production, and more focus on accessibility as opposed to telephone density, got us from 2 million phones in India then to almost 1.5 billion phones in India today. Not only that, today India produces $180 billion worth of software related export. Non-resident Indians are found all over the world in key positions. A lot of credit goes to our founding fathers who focused on education, higher education. I could get my master's in physics for almost $10, $20 total fee for 6 years. Where can you get that kind of quality education? But our founding fathers built IITs, IIMs, lots and lots of laboratories. And in the last 75 years, India has done tremendous. We are self-sufficient in food because of Green Revolution. We have space programs comparable to anybody else in the world. Atomic energy, we are the largest producer of milk. You know the success story in IT and Telecom. We are largest producer of vaccine. India has come a long way. But we have a long way to go. We have a robust auto industry, pharmaceutical industry, and our talent is well respected and recognized all over the world. So let us not underestimate what we have accomplished in the last 75 years. Then when Rajiv Gandhi died, I came back to US, worked in London for a while, and then when Dr. Manmohan Singh became Prime Minister, I went back again to work on National Innovation Council, Innovation, Knowledge Commission, and Digital India. My journey in and out of India has been very rewarding, very satisfying. And I have seen thriving democracy, lots of freedom, huge amount of opportunities, support from government, bureaucracy, family, friends. And Indian diversity has always inspired me a great deal. What a great country, where you have lush jungles in east, deserts on west, tropical forest in south, and snow and cold in Himalayan mountains. We have huge amount of ocean front. We have multiple languages, and the India that I lived in were Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Jewish, Zoroastrians, Hindus, all thrive together, work together, live together. And I must tell you, as we celebrate 75th year of India's independence, I worry a little bit about future. Because what has happened in the last few years bothers me. We have started this concept of Hindu Rashtra, where we discriminate Muslims. There are 200 million Muslims in India. They are our brothers. They are our cousins. We got to respect them. We have still caste system. We discriminate our Harijans, which also discriminate to some extent tribal. Women do not get all the respect that we need to give them in India. And these things bother me. Polarized politics has really increased these worries. Democracy is being hijacked in many ways. Institutions are captured systematically, whether it is judiciary, security, education, police, ED, income tax, or many of the government institutions. Civil society is undermined, and scientific thinking, logic, rational viewpoint is attacked. I worry about all of these things. On one hand, at 75, we have a lot to celebrate. On the other hand, at 75, we have a lot to worry about. What kind of a nation are we going to build going forward? In the next 25 years will depend on what we decide to do now. India is at crossroads. I've just written a book called Redesign the World because I believe the world is at crossroad as well, mainly because of the opportunities offered by hyperconnectivity. For the first time in the human history, we are all connected. What does this connectivity mean to human civilization? Unfortunately, we use this connectivity to do the same thing we have been used to doing all the time. Little better, little cheaper, little faster. Can we use this connectivity to take human civilization to the next level? And that's the question I have been asking. World was designed just about the time I was born, in 1942. That design which focused on democracy, human rights, capitalism, consumption, and military, to me, is obsolete. We need a new design which focuses on inclusion, human needs, new economy, sustainability and conservation, and non-violence. All of these 5 things are very important in India. And India can provide lead and direction to the world if India begins to think of redesigning internal systems. There is huge amount of talent in India. This talent has to be harnessed to really lift 400 million people who are below poverty line. And this cannot be done with top-down approach. This can only be done with bottom-up approach. It can be done with decentralization and not centralization. It can be done not with command and control, with collaboration, cooperation, co-creation. It requires people who are willing to listen. It requires people who have patience, courage, compassion, and empathy. I worry about our leadership in India at this time. I think we need more Gandhis and Pandit Nehrus and Patels and Maulana Azads and Subhash Chandra Bose. We need those kinds of people with character, charisma, values, who can stand on high moral ground to really build the to India of the future. The world needs Indian idea of nation building. World today is looking for solutions. Unfortunately, world today is focused on profits and power, while we need to focus on planet and people. We need to constantly ask what is good for planet and what is good for people. If it is not good for planet and not good for people, it's not worth doing it. I hope that today on August 15th, as we celebrate 75th year of India's independence, we begin a new conversation on what kind of a nation we want to build in the next 25 years. Today we have some fantastic tools in IT, hyperconnectivity, biotech, nanotech, materials, transport, energy, and health to really transform India. I want to see India where we have clean air to breathe, clean water to drink, enough nutrition and good food for people to eat at low cost, have health services almost free, enough jobs for young people, good education where 40% of the people can go get the right kind of skills in higher education and get meaningful jobs. We want better infrastructure. We want energy security. I know all of these things are possible, provided we focus on fundamentals, which relate to democracy, diversity, inclusion, justice, truth, trust, love, bottom-up development, decentralization, and listening to the voices of the local people, listening to their wisdom. There is a lot of wisdom in India. Don't underestimate the wisdom of the local, tribal, low caste, rural, farmers, teachers, fishermen. They are all important resource for you. I hope that today we take this pledge to have a new conversation, individually and collectively, to build India of the future that our founding fathers had thought of, which is also articulated well in our constitution, and not move away from that into dictatorial mindset, Hindu Rashtra, hate, infights, polarized politics, control of power, control of profits, and let's make sure that we just do justice to our founding fathers. Thank you.